Every time a war erupts, most people panic. The smart ones? They open their brokerage apps. Because while cities burn and families flee, a different kind of battle begins in the markets. Oil, weapons, wheat, cybersecurity. As the world descends into chaos, these sectors start printing money. Energy prices explode, supply chains choke, commodities surge, governments pour billions into bombs, bandwidth, and bullets. While you're at home, staring at the news, wondering why aerospace ETFs just hit another all-time high. This is the financial anatomy of war. How chaos creates profit, who cashes in, and how the same patterns repeat every single time. Let's go. In peacetime, humanity runs on abundance. We argue about oat milk, build useless apps, fly to Bali to find ourselves. But war doesn't care about your startup or your meditation retreat. It drags civilization back to its raw foundations: energy, food, security, survival. And when society strips down to those essentials, money follows. It always begins with a spark, an invasion, a bombing, a sudden escalation. In an instant, the global supply chain seizes. Why? Shipping companies panic. Ports get blockaded or bombed. Governments sanction enemies. Corporations cut ties. And because modern supply chains are fragile and lean, when one node fails, the whole web collapses. When that happens, energy becomes a weapon. Pipelines explode, ports are seized, oil fields become targets, and power grids turn into war zones. Without oil, nothing moves. Without gas, factories stop. Without electricity, Gen Z loses its mind. That's why energy markets detonate during conflict. When Russia invaded Ukraine, gas to Europe shut off overnight. German factories went dark. UK energy bills tripled, and American gas exporters like Cheniere made a killing shipping fuel across the Atlantic. But when energy falls, food follows. Farmland turns to craters. Tractors sit idle. Fertilizer runs out. Even if farmers could grow, there's no one left to buy or ship. Ukraine, once a breadbasket of the world, became a wasteland. Wheat prices surged 60% in 3 months. Egypt, Pakistan, Somalia, on the brink of famine. Meanwhile, companies like ADM, Bunge, and CF Industries swam in profits. Then come the weaklings, the peacetime parasites. Tourism, luxury, advertising, startups all collapse overnight. Who's booking flights to Paris when missiles are flying? Who's paying $25 for a pumpkin spice latte when milk costs more than gas? Airlines crumble, hotels bleed, ad budgets vanish, and venture capital ghosts your next big idea. War doesn't destroy money, it moves it. So, how do you profit from a burning world? First, understand, this isn't about celebrating war. It's about recognizing the cold, repeating truth of markets. When blood runs, money flows. Let's start with the first battlefield: oil and gas. Without them, tanks stall, jets ground, factories freeze. Every modern war runs on fuel. When pipelines get bombed or sanctioned, prices skyrocket. Every single time. 1990 Gulf War. 2003 Iraq. 2022 Ukraine. Oil always doubles. Your plays: Exxon, Chevron, Shell, and Cheniere. Exxon dominates globally. Chevron runs leaner, focused on the Americas. Shell gives you European exposure. And Cheniere, the gas king, liquefies US fuel and sells it overseas. When Europe froze, they got rich. For lower risk, war-focused ETFs or direct commodities. Next, defense and aerospace. No explanation needed. These companies don't just survive war, they thrive on it. Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, General Dynamics, Palantir, and soon Anduril. Lockheed builds F-35s. Northrop makes autonomous drones and space defense. Raytheon rules missiles. General Dynamics builds tanks and submarines. And Palantir? No one quite knows what they do, but every time governments panic, their contracts explode. Then we move to agriculture and fertilizer. The silent war. Food is power. When exports collapse, new suppliers rise. A DM reroutes global grain. Bungie fills the gap from Latin America when Europe or the US locks down. CF Industries makes the nitrogen fertilizer that feeds the world. And when Russia got sanctioned, they printed money. Then comes the invisible front line, cyber. 2024. Israel's GPS jammed. Ukraine's grid attacked. European banks hit. Missiles aren't the only weapons anymore, code is. Governments rush to defend everything wired or wireless. Winners? Palantir, CrowdStrike, Palo Alto Networks, and ETFs like Hack or Bug. Finally, metals. Every bullet needs brass. Every jet needs steel. Every missile, rare earths, copper for power grids. Aluminum and steel for tanks and ships. And neodymium, terbium, dysprosium. The rare earths that make stealth and precision weapons possible, China controls most of it. But MP Materials, the only US rare earth miner, stands ready to cash in. War reshapes everything, not just borders, but balance sheets, gold, water, shipping. They all move in the same violent rhythm. You can't stop the chaos, but you can understand it. Because in the end, war doesn't just destroy nations, it reveals who owns the aftermath. Thanks for watching, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.